Here with Coach Hudak after another sweep is in the books for the Kingsmen prospect squad. Coach, thanks for joining us as always. Looking back on this series now, it's 8 wins in a row, but importantly, you get the 3 here at Caramont. How's the team feeling as a whole right now?
I think we're playing with a lot of confidence right now. We talked about up and down the lineup, we're swinging the bat well, and I think one of the things I really liked about today in particular, is that we hammered them pretty well yesterday, and we come out and whole different ball game today. And I think the mark of a good team is a mark of a team that can, win one game 12-2, and then the next game 2-0, and then the next game, whatever it was, to 1, 13-1 or something. So, I think that's a mark of a good club. We're playing really well right now. I thought we threw the ball really well today. I was really pleased with Kason Young. He struggled with command and, got 3 innings out of him. He threw much better today. And then, of course, Tristan threw really well coming in, and Micah obviously threw great in game 2. So, we pitched real well all 3 games and swung the bats pretty well in 2 of them.
Coach, when you have the pitching production like you talked about, where you don't have to use many arms, only 5 arms total over the course of the series, how easy does that make decision making as the pitching coach?
Well, it makes it really easy. I think anytime you can get good innings, 3 or 4 or 5 good innings out of your starters, and I think the key for this whole series, we threw strikes for the most part. Nobody had a high pitch count. We've got 6 really good arms on our prospect team, and we only had to use 5. We didn't have to use Harris Clark, and he's thrown really well for us as well. So, particularly pleased with Kason Young. He threw the ball over the plate well today. He struggled a little bit with command, and it was good to see him get 3 innings, get a little confidence back. Real pleased with the pitching today.
And then after a defensive battle like you alluded to in game 2 of the series, the bats came back. A couple big innings again today. These bats, top to bottom of the lineup have just been on fire, haven't they?
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think, again, that's the key to us offensively. We might have a guy or 2 that's struggling. They might hold us down for an inning or 2, but, top to bottom, we swing the bat really well. And eventually, at some point, hopefully we're going to score multiple runs. The first game, you got to give that guy some credit. He changed speeds well, didn't walk anybody. We hit a lot of routine fly balls, which we don't like to see. Changed in the second game, hit a lot of line drives in the second game, which was a lot better.
Of course, and I wanted to ask you about the floaters. We've seen guys like Montgomery Hart be playing on both teams in the starting lineup majority of the games. Katie McNeil's been in a ton of spots. Christian Burney with a home run today. He's had a couple of big hits recently. How valuable are these guys interchanging between the prospect and varsity teams?
Well, I think they're extremely valuable. We wouldn't be able to have 2 teams without the floaters if they didn't have the floaters, and our floaters have done really well. Gummy's he's one of our best players on the prospect, but we have him on the varsity team, primarily to pitch, because we don't have a lot of arms there. But if he's going to play on the varsity team, there's no sense having him on the bench, when he's one of your better hitters. But he's there primarily to pitch. The rest of the guys, they've done a good job, and we only have 1 team, so we're really happy about that. And I think all of our guys come ready to play. And the floaters know, hey, they're probably not going to play a lot with the prospect, other than maybe a couple of them. Right, but they're ready to play, and they know when we get down and play a varsity game, they're going to be playing all the time. So I think it's the best of both worlds for them.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris.